Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At Enchain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Alrighty people, it looks like we are live. Sorry about that, a few technical hiccups, but here we go, rock and roll. So, quick introduction here. This show is going to be dedicated to, not that, this guy here, Mike Winnet. So, going to put him on the thumbnail. For those of you across the pond who don't know this guy, he has got connections with CoffeeZilla and a few others because he is actually quite a big name in the UK. Quite a successful entrepreneur, sold a business for a few million quid, and now does a series called The Contrepreneur, where basically he calls out all these frauds trying to mug people off online. And he's recently just done a YouTube video here called The Rise of Crypto Influencers, basically calling them out for being complete scammers. So Mike, if you are watching my show, please reach out to me because I'm going to explain everything to you, because I saw you asking around and nobody else that you asked about crypto could tell you what it is. So that is what I am here to do. So first of all, let me just explain something by sending a picture to myself. Just give me a second, my desktop was working a little bit slow. Here we go, excellent. My followers probably know the image that we're going to bring up here. Yes, indeed. Got it. And send that one. And bring that up. Beautiful. There we go, Mike. Right, so pay attention to this. This here is the Genesis block. As you might not know this, but the white paper was released on the 31st of October 2008. And the reason it was released on the 31st of October 2008 and yet Satoshi Nakamoto didn't start the network until the 3rd of January 2009, so it means he left it 2 months and 4 days to be precise before starting the network, is because he needed to give Bitcoin credibility as a commodity. Now, if he had just simply started the network himself and not given other people a reasonable opportunity to start the network themselves, it would have discredited Bitcoin's neutrality, which is what makes it a commodity. So not only did he not simply post the white paper to his local supermarket, he actually posted it to a cryptographic mailing list. So to a group of competent people who would have understood what they were looking at. So any of them could have started the network themselves, but they didn't. So he provided a reasonable amount of time before starting it, because everything that he had, all the information that he needed was in the white paper. Anybody could have started the network if they had just simply followed it. So it was a bit like a mineral left out there waiting to be discovered. But because he obviously wrote it, he was responsible for providing the reasonable amount of time. Now, the reason he released the white paper on the 31st of October 2008 is because that was an added distraction. Because he realized that it was really important that he start the network himself under a pseudonym. So he gave himself the best opportunity, but still gave a reasonable amount of time for anyone else to start the network. So then he started the network on the 3rd of January 2009 under a pseudonym. Now, the pseudonym was a Japanese pseudonym. Now, why did he choose a Japanese name? Well, it was because he had to stay hidden for a long enough period of time to let the network grow organically without any central point of authority, control, or influence. And over that period, due to the process of proof of work, the centralized starting point, that central point of authority, control, and influence, gets diluted over time as more and more people come in to compete for the rewards on the system. This is why it was really important for him to stay hidden. So he chose Japan. And the reason he chose Japan is because, one, he released the white paper to the Western world. It was written in English, and Japan is the furthest away from the Western world. But not only is it the furthest away, it also provided a language barrier so that people would have trouble trying to find him. There was a large enough population, but also more importantly, Japan is technologically advanced, highly developed, and politically neutral. So it gave him, as the author of the white paper, the highest amount of credibility, which means people didn't ask questions about him. If he'd chosen a Russian name, for example, people would be suspect about his political intentions. Same with China. If he'd given himself a name from a third world country, people would be like, well, where on earth did you get your information from? Whereas being, Japan, people would just say, all right, well, he just simply must be Japanese. Didn't really question it too much and just thought, right, well, this looks interesting. It looks like it works. Here we go, rock and roll. Now, Bitcoin being a commodity means that it cannot have a central point of control. Now, if it can't have a central point of control, it means that someone can tamper with it and control it. Now, the issue is when they do tamper with it and they control it, they effectively crash its fundamental value to zero. It's a bit like tampering with the properties of gold. If you tamper with the properties of gold, well, it doesn't turn into gold anymore. You've debased it. You've added something else to it. It's not pure gold. And it's the same with Bitcoin. As soon as it becomes centralized, it becomes worthless because it is no longer a commodity, and a commodity is something that is common to everyone. It's not centrally controlled. Now, because he knew that it could be tampered with and controlled, he had to set up an insurance policy against this. Now, let's just have a look at this. I'm going to show you this insurance policy. It's right here. Maybe it's not there. Maybe it's here. There we go. Check it out. Right, Mike, pay attention to this. Let's just enlarge this, if we can. Hopefully we can. There's usually a scale across the top. Maybe not this time. Right. So, Mike, if you're watching this, you see it says here, to whom it may concern, CC Dr. Craig Wright. And this was actually written by a chap called Dave Kleiman. So he said, I acknowledge the trust and the transfer of Bitcoins to this trust. I have full control of all software and the keys used to manage Bitcoin as of this date, Thursday, and this was the 9th of June 2011. Now, he said, it is agreed that I, Dave Kleiman, shall become the trustee of the transfer of the Satoshi I have received from Craig Wright. And he said, I, Dave Kleiman, have received 1,100,111 Bitcoin from Craig Wright as of Australia. At the time of this transfer, this is valued at around 100,000 USD. So they're roughly sort of 10 cents each. Yeah, about that. So he said, as of this date, so this was the 9th of June was when he received that. Now, the network was started on the 3rd of January 2009, and 1,100,111 Bitcoin represented roughly about 17% of the overall Bitcoin supply in circulation at that time, at that specific time. Now, let's see, I think it's also dated down, might be dated down the bottom. Respectfully, David Kleiman. Okay, the date's at the top then. So let's just see where it says here. Going to bring up some other dates. Right, so he says here, I will form a trust to be managed by at least 3 people, but no more than 7 at any time. All Bitcoin will be returned to Dr. Wright on the 1st of January 2020. So obviously that was now, what are we now? The 5th, so that was 17 months ago. 17 months ago. Now, the reason this was set up and the reason this was to be returned on the 1st of January 2020 is because Dr. Wright, Craig, knew that the network could be tampered with. And the way you tamper with it is that you tamper with the signatures. Because, and I'm just going to show you here, Mike. These are the pillars, the 5 pillars. You can't quite see it because they're across there. The 5 pillars of decentralization. So these are all the things that are needed in order to keep the network neutral. So first, accountability. Satoshi designed Bitcoin with a chain of signatures to hold all users of the system to account. This way, no one could do anything on the network that no one else would know about. This is what makes all users equal to one another. So in other words, if you want to centralize Bitcoin, you want to take central control of it, you tamper with the signatures. It's the signatures that prevents a single party, a single group of developers from taking control of the network. And it can be done quite easily. But if they do it, they crash its fundamental value to 0. So that Tulip Trust was set up, and as we've said here, set up on the 9th of June 2011 and was returned on the 1st of January 2020 as Bitcoin's insurance policy. So that would have been used to literally wipe out any shitcoin that had altered the protocol. And so with BTC, they implemented SegWit on the 24th of August 2017, which basically meant they segregated the signatures. They spun this bullshit yarn about how they were going to make more room in the block. It's, oh yeah, we're going to make more room in the block, but what we won't tell you is that it brings the network centralized under our control via a company called Blockstream. Now you can research this yourself, Mike, because all you just simply do is type in SegWit on Google. Here we go. SegWit wiki. Here we go, look. Just to prove to you, Mike, look at that. SegWit Wikipedia. Look, it is here, Mike. It's all here. Segregated witness. Now, the witness is the signatures. They just called it. A witness, basically to try and bamboozle people. But they should have called it segregated signatures. But most people aren't really all that intelligent, so they were just like, oh, whatever the witness is, yeah, we don't really understand what that is, so we'll just assume that these professionals know what they're doing, which is absolutely outrageous. Now, if you don't believe me that Blockstream centralized control of the network, Mike, just have a listen to this, because this is a voice recording of Sam Samao, who is the Chief Strategy Officer of Blockstream, admitting that they do actually control it. So Mike, just have a quick listen to this. Just going to find it here because I know I've got it. Come on, Samson, come to daddy. There we go. Here we go, Mike. Have a listen.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. There's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who does?
Blockstream.
Oh, did you hear that, Mike? Did you hear that? Shall we cue the nervous laughter?
Oh,
all right.
I was looking at you when I said that.
Yeah, I'm a block. I have a spy. I'm one of the spies. No, so this, it's an interesting.
It certainly is interesting, Max. Right, Mike. So even if you think that is not enough to that you may not believe me that Blockstream took control of it, I'm just going to play you a recording now also of what you call a crypto influencer, which you've just done your show on, called Peter McCormack, and his own take on what's happened to Bitcoin. Have a listen to this.
Bitcoin is so different now from when Satoshi was here. It's a completely different project. It doesn't matter who Satoshi is anymore. Even if Satoshi came back, I don't think he would just be immediately welcomed as having this God-given right to decide what happens with Bitcoin. I think he would have to earn his right back into the project. Bitcoin is built based on consensus now.
Are you sure about that, Pete? Because it didn't sound like it to me. Should we have that one more time? Here we go.
Is built based on consensus now.
Really? One more time.
Into the project. Bitcoin is built based on consensus now.
You sound a little bit insecure about yourself there, Pete. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. So then, Mike, I don't know what else to say. If you, obviously I've got more evidence than that, but I mean, that should kind of like really drive it home, really. So we know that BTC is completely changed now, as has been described, and completely controlled by Blockstream through SegWit. So we know that. So then Bitcoin just simply had to carry on. The protocol didn't change, but the ticker symbol was stolen. So the protocol carried on under a new ticker symbol, which was BCH. But then another group of developers did exactly the same thing that Blockstream just did. And these group of developers were led by a chump called Roger Ver. Now, Roger Ver also was a bit of an anarcho-capitalist, and he wants Bitcoin to be unregulatory compliant, which basically means global trade and international commerce can't use it, which is absolutely ridiculous. So again, there was another heated debate. Now, if you don't believe me, have a listen to him talking here. And by the way, when the guy says, I have a question here from Satoshi, that's me. Have a listen.
I have a question here from Satoshi, defender of Bitcoin. He said, if a cryptocurrency is anonymous, like BCH, I don't think BCH is anonymous, but maybe there is something.
Check out cashfusion.com and you combine that with reusable payment codes and you get Bitcoin Cash in the same sort of ballpark of privacy as Monero. It's really awesome. So you can check out Cashfusion. And I always get it wrong. I think it's .com, but it might be .org. So you can check both. Cashfusion.com.
Okay, awesome. So BCH, maybe using Cash Fusion and XMR, if they're anonymous, how can a business get legal recourse against a supplier if the supplier defaults and no proof on the transaction exists because anon?
Yeah, if you want your cryptocurrency to be perfectly legal for everything all the time, just go use your Visa card. Just go use your PayPal, right? What do you need a cryptocurrency for? You can do all of it with a centralized, fully legal and fully compliant payment platform, right? So go use PayPal. I think you've missed the entire point. The entire point of cryptocurrencies is that by technological design, they are beyond the reach of the law. They're above the law. That's why, imagine if Bitcoin could have been shut down by governments, they probably would have shut it down from right out of the gate. And it's the fact that Bitcoin can't be shut down. We should ask the BSVers this: if they pass a law saying BSV needs to shut down their blockchain, are they going to obey and shut down their BSV blockchain? I hope the answer would be no. Which is just a lot of the stuff I see from some of these BSVers are silly. But then there's other BSV fans that, I'm very, very sympathetic to their way of thinking. But the ones that say that the blockchains all need to be legally compliant about everything all the time, just go use your Visa card.
Unbelievable, Mike. If you are a rational thinking, intelligent human being, you'll realize that what you've just heard there makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. The moment you make something illegal, you're giving the government the excuse to shut it down, which they will do in a heartbeat. It is absolutely insane. So again, they stole the ticker symbol through manipulating with the exchanges and colluding with them, and the protocol just simply carried on, but with a new ticker symbol, BSV. But it has not changed since the network started on the 3rd of January 2009 and follows the Bitcoin white paper as described by Satoshi Nakamoto. That is Craig Wright, who set up the Tulip Trust, who was going to use it to wipe all of these shitcoins off the face of the planet. Now, the reason, well, I'd say one of the reasons, he didn't do that is because, let me just show you this, Mike. Where is it? Coin crap. Here we go. Here we go, Mike. So, personally, I think this has been even more successful than even he could imagine. Look, there is a $1.5 trillion market cap, to which Coolcoin, I call BTC Coolcoin because it's nothing like Bitcoin. Even though it's got a market cap here of 668 billion, it was over $1 trillion at one point, and someone had a little bit of a word with him, i.e. me, and I said, look, maybe it might not be such a good idea to wipe $1 trillion off the face of the planet because you might upset a few people. It's a lot of money to just simply wipe out. And so luckily he's changed his mind on that, for the better, I think, personally. But yeah, people are going to ask me, well, why would he change his mind? Well, personal safety, I think is a good answer to that. So yeah, Mike, that's kind of like where we're at. The other things that make this neutral, make Bitcoin a commodity, are these other things here. So I've already said the chain of signatures that makes people accountable, and in fact, I've got a classic video here about let's try and find it again. A classic video for you to listen to about SegWit. My followers will know exactly the video that I'm about to bring up here. So just have a quick listen to this, Mike. You've got to hear this because this just shows you the ignorance and stupidity of what we call these shitcoiners who don't understand Bitcoin. Here we go. Right, so have a listen to this. Right, just start from the beginning, especially for you, Mike. Here we go. Turn the volume up. There we go. Have a listen.
Why do you think BTC is valuable?
It's valuable because it's the only unconfiscatable asset we have, and that is because that comes from its decentralization. I think Bitcoin is the only valuable crypto asset we have because of the nature of how it started in its first few years.
And when you say Bitcoin, you mean BTC, right?
Absolutely.
But are you aware that in 2017, they changed the rules so that BTC no longer follows the Bitcoin white paper?
That is not true at all.
The white paper says that there needs to be a chain of signatures.
Sure.
Okay, so that's not what we have anymore. That's how SegWit changed that.
Okay, but it's still Bitcoin, right?
You have to excuse me, Mike. I do laugh at that every single time. Like I find it absolutely hilarious. So there we go, Mike. Please, get in contact with me. I can explain more. I can literally explain all the coins here listed on the coin crap chart. The concept of cryptocurrency is a complete scam because it has no fundamental value. Bitcoin is a commodity, and if you like, I'm just gonna. I see it being over 24 minutes already, but I haven't looked at the charts today, so just going to use my usual thing. And if you want to carry on watching, feel free. So check this out. All my followers know what this is. Check it out. This is the Bitcoin forecast, the strength of the system, the health of the network, where we find out what's up with what is going down. Check it out. Right then, Mike. So this is the Bitcoin network, the 3 competing chains. So we've got Bitcoin over here. Again, just got a price of £169 because that's extremely undervalued. These two don't have any fundamental value whatsoever, which means all they have is a speculative price. However, when knowledge catches up with speculation, their speculative price will soon match their fundamental values at zero because people will understand that. So at the moment, Bitcoin's got 0.5% of the hash rate, Bcrash 2.1, Coolcoin 97. Network nodes on Bitcoin 1.8, network nodes for Bcrash 8% and Coolcoin 90. However, look at this, Mike. Transactions on the Bitcoin network winning 46.2% in comparison to Bcrash 13.7 and Coolcoin 40.1. But look at this, Mike. This is what Bitcoin is all about. It is about Bitcoin is the fastest, most efficient, most secure data management system on the planet, sustained economically by Bitcoin. That is what it is all about. So whenever you upload your data onto the blockchain, nobody can crack it, hack it, alter it, change it, delete it. You have sovereignty over that data because you are uploading it to a decentralized, distributed, single ledger. That's the whole point. And the way you upload it is through buying Bitcoin. So you have to buy Bitcoin in order to upload your data because that's what the miners get paid in. Now, once the data is there, it can just simply be accessed like it can on the current internet. It's just simply there. You can play videos, music files, look at data, like whatever you want. You only have to pay a transaction if you actually want to make an alteration to that data file. That is it. Other than that, it's just simply on the blockchain indefinitely forever, where it remains as an immutable, an immutable universal source of truth. Because it's a ledger, if somebody does change it, the change is recorded later on in time. Because all the changes and everything else, they're all time stamped. So it's literally like an accounting ledger. That's what Bitcoin is all about, Mike. And as you can see, these shitcoins don't have any data going on them at all. Now, for lols, we're just going to play Spot the Biggest Block on Bcrash. But before we do that, we're going to have a listen to Roger Ver call it Bcrash himself, because that's why I call it Bcrash, in honour of him. Have a listen to this, Mike.
And we're going to really spread Bitcoin Crash across the entire country here in Antigua.
Yeah, good luck with that, Roger. Alright, so look at how small these blocks are. This is absolutely pathetic. Oh, look, they've got one 2.5 megabyte block, and that's it. Shocking. So now we're going to have a look at Coolcoin, Mike, and have a look at these the data flowing through the chain. But before we do that, we're going to be joined by one of my favourite guests, a regular on the show, Michael Saylor, because he's always enthusiastic about it. So, Michael, welcome to the show. So, listen, I know you've just read the white paper and you're really enthusiastic about it, but, I was thinking about tampering it, like Blockstream were doing. I was thinking about, implementing SegWit, which would centralise the network, under Blockstream. We can implement replace by fee, so transactions can be double spent. We'll add in child pays for parent. We'll build a second layer so that it effectively starves the miners and the network's going to collapse. What's your opinion on all this stuff, Mike?
I like Bitcoin the way it is.
Well, so do we, Michael. How'd you compete with that?
In fact, I love Bitcoin the way it is.
Oh, what? You can't just leave it there, Mike. You're going to have to explain yourself. Why do you love Bitcoin the way it is? What is it about it that you love?
The way it's currently constructed, it is possible to put all $250 trillion of monetary energy.
Wow, $250 trillion of monetary energy. Where's that going to go?
In big blocks of encrypted energy on the blockchain.
Wow, big blocks of encrypted energy on the blockchain, Mike. What kind of numbers are we talking about?
Maybe the Bitcoin will be $1 million. You can probably calculate $10 million of Bitcoin or something.
Whoa, $10 million per Bitcoin or something. How's it going to fit and where's it going to go?
Big blocks, $100 million chunks on the blockchain.
Is that right? So let's have a look for these big blocks then, Mike, shall we? We've got 1.3, 1.4. Is that it? A 1.4? Dear, oh dear. dear, oh dear. Right, Mike, so you've just seen how crap they are. Now let's have a look at the genuine Bitcoin. Look at that. Oh, a 53 megabyte block in the second row. You know, straight out the gate. 1, 3, 3, 2, 77, Mike. Look at 57. You know, look at this. 6, 11, 2, 4, 17, 5, 57, 47, 47. Mike, you know, Mike Winnet, you can probably see what Bitcoin is. Mikey, baby, I think you might be on the wrong chain, buddy. And I know you put $1 billion in that. I'd start sweating if I were you. So, Mike, this is the hash rate. Hash rate follows price, follows value, follows utility, follows creativity, initiative, and intelligence. If you are intelligent, you can apply creativity and initiative. If you apply creativity and initiative, you can make something useful. When something is useful, it can then create value. When it creates value, it can then develop a price. When it develops a price, it can then be measured against the cost of other goods and services and used as a medium of exchange. That is what Bitcoin is all about. So, Mike, Satoshi Nakamoto described Bitcoin as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Cash is the most liquid form of money, money having to be a commodity. It is not a security, it is not a token, it is a commodity. Now, the fiat currency that we use at the moment, it's a token because it's just simply printed off a printing press. That is it. In fact, it's a toxic asset because it has no value in itself. And when they increase the supply, it just means that the value of it goes down and down and down, which means business costs go up and up and up. And as an entrepreneur yourself, you should know that when businesses are dealing in a medium of exchange that loses value, unless they have some kind of fund manager they can employ to maybe try and manage their wealth and maintain, their wealth somehow, which not many people really can afford to do because they don't actually make all that much money, you're fighting a never-ending uphill battle where eventually, unless you can reduce your costs in line with inflation or increase your prices in line with inflation, you're going to go bust. So that's why money doesn't work. It's a toxic asset, Mike, which we will look at later on. Proof of work by network, Bcrash, Bitcoin, hash rate, Bcrash, proof of work. Look at this, Mike. It is 40,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than it is Coolcoin, which is an absolute piece of pap. And looking at this, it's probably, let's do 40. I'm just going to open up my phone here, Mike. Do excuse me, mental arithmetic isn't all that strong. Calculator. Shout out to Sylvia and Kutia in the house. Thank you for joining me. 40,458 divided by 3,324. So it is 12 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Bcrash, Mike. So I mean, it's blatantly obvious which one is a cash system. Look at this. Daily average Bitcoin block size by network. Bitcoin absolutely smashing it. Transactions by network, Bitcoin winning. Transactions per block by network, Bitcoin winning. This is fees, so fees in a block, that's to do with transaction volume, so again that'll come with time. Fees, Satoshi, same sort of thing. Block reward ratio, so again the ratio is a percentage here, that's to do with the block reward and the fees in the block, Mike. So as I'm trying to demonstrate this to you, let me just show you this image, Mike. This is how Bitcoin works. You'll see this image in just a second. There it is. Beautiful. Right, Mike. So what happens is the block reward, well, obviously the block reward is to do with the value of Bitcoin, but the actual block reward itself goes down and down and down in value as it gets cut in half every 210,000 blocks, so approximately every sort of like 3.5-4 years sort of thing. So as the block reward gets cut in half, but the value of Bitcoin goes up, as more and more people come in to use the network, the transaction volume should go up, and then the fees from the transaction volume should surpass the block reward. That's what this is all about, Mike. So Laura Shin explains it quite well here. So just have a quick listen to this.
So, as you mentioned, at a certain point when the block reward stops, there will be a transition where miners will be compensated in transaction fees, not in the block reward. And the current amount that they earn is from fees is about 9% of the block reward. And so we'd have to see transaction fees 11x by roughly 2140, which is when the new Bitcoins will stop being minted. But I just wondered, if we don't see an increase in the amount of transactions that can happen at layer one, because the number of layer one transactions is limited. And right now, I feel like a lot of the scaling is focusing on layer two. Can transaction fees 11x in that time, or will that require people to pay a lot more per transaction?
The KPI for this for what we're looking at right now, which the question we're trying to answer is, are transaction fees replacing the block subsidy in the block reward? So are newly minted coins, are they, as those decrease, is that value being replaced by the subsidy? And so we can calculate that. That would be our primary KPI. So you could look at transaction fees over the subsidy, transaction fees in a block divided by the subsidy, and you brought up that that's at 9%. If we look at that historically and we make it like a rolling 60-day to smooth it out a little bit, and we look at this over time on a log curve, it's very much trending in the right direction, where 11x sounds like a lot, but Bitcoin moves in really intense cycles where we've all seen it go from 1,000 to 10,000 or 20,000. When that happens, that means there's not an equivalent, but a directional rise in transactions and transaction fees. And so we have seen transaction fees replace the subsidy over time. And so it very much is trending in the right direction to where over the next couple halving cycles, we should see it start to predominantly be the value that is compensated to the miners in the block reward. If Bitcoin doesn't become adopted, if it remains a more niche sort of a service for humankind, where only, let's say 20 million people use it, well, then its long-term security will be weak. If Bitcoin is the world reserve currency that doesn't have a strong security model, like there's not a lot of monetary compensation in the block reward due to transaction fees, well, will that be a bad scenario? Well, it's an impossible scenario, because if it is the world reserve currency, there'll be very, very many layer one transaction fees.
Okay, yeah. So it sounds like you think it is possible people might consider that because, or rather, it's possible that the amount in transaction fees will maybe not be enough on layer one to replace the block reward when the time comes.
There we go, Mike. You heard it here. That's why when Blockstream purposely took over control of the network, they prevented it from scaling, because, funnily enough, they were funded by multinational companies who have got suspiciously close links to the Federal Reserve. You go figure it out, Mike. Where did Blockstream get $100 million from? Well, bit of a secret, and all the videos that were on YouTube that exposed where they got their money from, they were all taken down. Funny that. Yeah. So now, Mike, hope you found that interesting. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else you need to know, but yeah, that's why we were looking at that. So yeah, like block rewards, fee and ratio. So again, we're expecting a huge increase in the price and a huge increase in the fees in the blocks. So we're going to monitor this one particularly. But Mike, just showing you this one. Check this out. So this is daily accumulated Bitcoin blockchain growth by network. So showing you the network here. Just go back. Show you this image. Right, Mike, so you see how I was saying the protocol hasn't changed? Right, well, let me just show you on this image here. So this is the protocol. So it was this yellow line to start with, right? But then this was the first chain split. So the protocol then followed this green line. And this green line here that we're looking at represents the ticker symbol BCH there. So this was BCH, and then that other split happened that we were talking about, and then the protocol followed this red line. But look at this now. Look at the acceleration in the growth. This is the data going on chain. So there's more data weight on chain, which effectively means it becomes more valuable because there's more data on chain, which means more people value the chain because there's more of their data on it. That's what this thing is all about, Mike. So what we'll do now, we'll just see how much more the Bitcoin chain has grown over Corecoin. I mean, I love this, Mike. This is just absolutely amazing. Look at this. Oh, look, almost 9 gigabytes in front now. Almost 9 gigabytes. Look at that. The Bitcoin SV, Satoshi Vision, but it's Bitcoin really, has grown by 8.98 gigabytes more than the core coin chain. Proof's in the pudding, Mike. Proof is in the pudding. So let's just go back. So this is the politics, Mike. This is global hash rate. So global hash rate 7 days, not as relevant as global or significant as global hash rate 24 hours. This kind of matches core coin pretty much, as you can probably see there. Thank you, Coin Dance, for doing that to me, ruining my show, my live show. Trying to impress Mike Winnet here. Right, so there we go. So this is global hash rate 24 hours. Global hash rate, or this core coin. So it's relatively similar. F2 pool in front. We've got via BTC and Ant pool trading places, pooling and Binance trading places, but other than that, size pretty much similar. This is B Crash again. All these miners on here. Total shitcoiners mining a completely useless coin, but this is Bitcoin, Mike. So here we have Tau with 43%, Hathor 29.8%, Mempool, Norpool. Via BTC, we're trying to squeeze them off the chain. Via BTC wanting in on the action. I'm not sure if we want them on there either. BTC.com again trying to squeeze on the chain. The reason we're trying to get them off the chain, Mike, is because these nefarious entities, these shitcoin enterprises, are because they don't understand Bitcoin. All they're trying to do is suppress it. The only thing they know is the price, because they don't understand the fundamentals. So they're purposely and artificially suppressing the price by dumping it and opening up short positions, which you can see here, Mike. Look at this. Look, this is Bitcoin, and these are the short positions opened. So with 90% short positions, and we're now at 89. Hasn't really changed all that much, to be honest with you. They're just simply artificially suppressing the price. The weight of these short positions that are opened on it basically tells you the expectation of it. People like dumping it. You know, the price is completely manipulated, as you would know. But let me just show you this. So this here, Mike, this is the Bitcoin blockchain, the global blockchain, working live in front of our very eyes. Now, what amazes me about this is that everything that you see here is generated and powered by this. These are all the Bitcoin mining operations around the world. All of this goes into the screen that we were just looking at right there. And as you can see, these mining operations are absolutely staggeringly huge. They are massive. So what we have here, Mike, these vertical rectangular blocks moving across the top of the screen. This is Bitcoin, so it's BSV. These are the transactions being recognized by the nodes on the network. Once they are recognized by the nodes on the network, which is instantly, because the network is an ultra small world mandala network. Once the transactions are recognized by more than 50% of the nodes on the network, which is instantly, and you can see the transaction generators below them, the transactions are then thrown into the memory pool. Now, once they're in the memory pool, they are then competed for by the miners and payment processors in order to create a block, put the transaction within the block, and then place the block on the blockchain, which is down here, and they are then rewarded with the Coinbase data, otherwise known as the block reward, otherwise known as freshly minted Bitcoin. So, Mike, you can see, for example, there is a block here of 77 megabytes, and in this highlighted rectangular blocks below, you can see we've got the hash number of the block, the height, who it was mined by, size, time date, transaction count, and total fees, Mike. So you see there's fees in the block, $100. So not only does the miner receive the block reward, which is currently 6.25 Bitcoin, they also get the fees, which currently in that block is $100. So we're expecting huge volumes of transactions on chain soon. And again, also a massive increase in the price. But eventually, as the block reward gets cut in half, it's these fees that will economically sustain the miners, which means we then have a network that can run indefinitely, Mike. An economically self-sustaining system. That's what it is all about. So, yeah, I hope you understand that. I've kind of done my best to make it as clear as possible. Now, if we look at BitInfo charts, Mike, look at this. This is the entire shit show, all the shitcoins. Well, shitcoins worth looking at anyway. There's only 10 here, and this is the last. So if you want to do any due diligence, these are the only 10 worth looking at. And as you can see, Bitcoin, which is BSV, has actually got 11% of the overall transactions on the network, Mike. You know, it is increasing. So Corecoin has only got 7.5. Bitcoin 11%, and then we've got XRP and Ethereum here. Now, just to give you an example of how absolutely crap XRP is, I've got a video here of David Schwartz, who is the Chief Technical Officer at Ripple Labs, basically explaining that XRP is same but different. Now, you're a smart chap, so just have a listen to this and see if you can hear the hypocrisy in this. It's absolutely ridiculous. Here we go.
Pleasure to have you, David. All right, so I was hoping you could comment perhaps briefly on this piece of news out this morning. Is Ripple hoping to find evidence that XRP is similar to Bitcoin and Ether and should not be considered a security?
Yeah, I think the primary argument that we're trying to make here is that the market considers them similar. We considered them similar. All of the evidence suggested that they were similar, and then the SEC just, comes out of nowhere and say, nope, they're completely different. Ripple's a company. We're based in San Francisco. We have employees. We have shareholders. We have a CEO. I work for that company. I'm the chief technology officer. And it's a company like any other company. It's centralized. What the CEO says goes. There's a board of directors. It just works like any other company. The XRP is a digital asset. It's censorship resistant. It's publicly traded. It trades on the XRP ledger. Ripple does not own or control the XRP ledger in any way.
So how did Ripple then get all the XRP that it has? It has about half the supply. So just how did that particular transaction happen?
The XRP ledger has a very different design from what Bitcoin and Ethereum have, and many other digital assets. Like in Bitcoin, the stakeholders are at least to some extent the miners, and the miners reap the rewards of the transaction fees. The XRP ledger doesn't work that way. It is not competitive. Nobody's competing to reap fees. Because it's not a competitive system, it doesn't have any way to sort of award fees to a particular party. Because although if it had a way to award fees to particular parties, people would compete for those fees, and it would become competitive. So the way it's design works is when the ledger first began operation, the 100 billion XRP, all that will ever exist, were sort of up for grabs. And lots of people grabbed XRP out of that system, but it just so happens that obviously, just like early miners mined, huge amounts of Bitcoin before the public knew about it or was using it, early XRP users grabbed large amounts of that pool of XRP. And so the people who developed the ledger wound up with, the vast majority of it, and then have been distributing it since then.
Thanks for that, David. Can you just explain that one more time? It didn't sound too clear.
Or was using it, early XRP users grabbed large amounts of that pool of XRP. And so the people who developed the ledger wound up with, the vast majority of it.
One more time, David.
People who developed the ledger wound up with, the vast.
One more time, Dave. Come on, I love it.
Wound up with, the vast majority of it.
There we go. Because they grabbed it. So you made it and you took it for yourself? Absolutely ridiculous, Mike. I hope you can see this because so many shitcoiners just can't. And we're just going to have a look at transactions here quickly. 3 years as downhill on a log curve. Look at this. This is Bitcoin, Mike. When it finally got its protocol back from underneath the hands of these nefarious entities who wanted to destroy it and make it illegal and all this kind of crap. Look at the progress. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. That's what we like. All right, let's just close this. And close these quickly. Oh, Mike, looking good there, mate. Looking good. Close, close, close. Right, trends.cash again, so apps ranking by money spent, TDX bit macking it hard, that's like a derivatives platform, Mike. And this is apps ranking by performed actions where we only know crypto fights. Look at that, 25%, wow. Run protocol, great stuff. TDXP app, Twitch, loving that. So these are all the applications, Mike, that are, the top 10 applications that are generating transactions on the network. There are more than that. Yeah, let's have a quick look at CryptoCoin. So, Mike, if you wonder what this is BTC All Exchanges Reserve. So, as you can see, the exchanges have been cashing out because they know it's an absolute piece of shit. Now, you're not going to tell everybody that what you're holding is an absolute piece of shit until you got rid of it. So, these exchanges have been dumping their reserves, and the dumping of the reserves is what's caused a liquidity or a liquidity squeeze and put the price up temporarily, which means it's a massive bubble here, Mike. So the exchanges have been cashing out because they know, and they've been dumping it on shitcoiners. You know, and look at this, more and more have just simply piled in because of the liquidity squeeze. They don't realize that it's a liquidity squeeze that's driving the price. So they're going to get absolutely crushed, Mike, which is why I'm trying to get your attention, and hopefully you understand this. If you want to talk about this some more, please contact me. I'm only in Leeds, so, you know, home turf, mate. We can meet up for a coffee or something like that. This is what's on chain, so this just proves that it's not a Ponzi scheme. Look at this. So we've got unconfirmed transactions coming into the memory pool, estimated next block size, and the memory pool usage. So there's currently being used by 15.95 megabytes, and the estimated next block size is 9.2. Again, we'll see that when it's finished. So this, Mike, is what a memory pool is meant to look like. Data comes in, then it gets cleared. 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 More data comes in, then it gets cleared. What a memory pool is not meant to look like, Mike, is an actual swimming pool. Like this. Where data can't be cleared. It's insane. And you want to see the what this results in, well, have a look at this. So we got memory pool size, so 69 megabytes that they're trying to clear using 1 megabyte block sizes approximately every 10 minutes. Good luck with that. A median fee of $4.93, so that's like your average fee, which means that if you want to buy a cup of coffee with Bitcoin, you're going to have to put another $4.93 on top of it just to pay for the privilege of the transaction. Absolutely ridiculous. Same on Ethereum. Look, you know, a median transfer fee, $2 on top of your cup of coffee, Mike. And look at this, the low fee line. Look at all these transactions stuck here below this low fee line. I hope people are rightly so. They don't want to pay a high fee to have to get their transaction to go through. But look, they're stuck. The network cannot handle them. It's absolutely ridiculous, Mike. You know, this is why I'm contacting you. You like to you know, sort of put yourself out there as a entrepreneur, exposing people. You need to expose this. This is an absolute farce. It's a complete fraud by those people who know that they have messed the system up on purpose. Literally on purpose. In fact, tell you what, while we're here, we'll just have a listen to Chamath Palihapitiya. I'm sure you know him because you're up to date with you know, everybody on the internet. Have a listen to what this chap says about it.
This is a thing that either goes to roughly the value of gold, and at the time it was about $100 a coin, and so there's very little downside. There's all this asymmetric upside. I said, take 1% of your net worth and buy this schmuck insurance. This is now a confidence game, right? There is no real utility in this.
You just called it a confidence game, which is a con game.
And we've done okay.
It's a con
economy's
game.
built.
There we go, Mike. Look, they know it. It's a con game. People need to be warned about this, Mike, which is why I'm trying to get your attention. But for my followers, so knowing that Bitcoin, genuine Bitcoin, is the only thing that can save us. How are we feeling about it, CoinGecko? Feeling good? Oh, 74% feeling good today. Loving that, loving that. Let's have a quick look at the depth chart. So currently 3 million asks. That's people who are willing to sell it versus 4 million bids. Look at that. Look at that. I'm actually quite shocked by that. That was like almost 25%. We got 25% more bids than asks. Wow. Wow. Alrighty. Oh, okay. $170 at the moment. $172 recorded by Prev in the top left of the screen frame. Let's have a look at Shitfinex. At the actual price itself, BSV USD. Oh, okay, 169. Alrighty, just going to close these screens. Mike, do excuse me. Hold on, close that, close that, close that, close that, close that, close that. There we go. So that's Bitcoin, genuine Bitcoin BSV. We'll have a look at BTC on Shitfinex. See what that's doing. Should come up in just a minute. There we go. Yeah, same, roughly. All right, now let's compare genuine Bitcoin versus shitcoin. Here we go. So this is BSV versus BT. Oh, look at that. Oh, looks like we're winning. Looks like we are winning. Having that. Holding steady. Very nice. Very nice. We've already looked at this entire shit show, Mike. If you want me to explain all the different consensus algorithms, for example, proof of stake, delegated proof of stake, pre-mined, hedge or hash graph, IOTAS tangle, all this shit, ERC20 tokens, whatever, I will explain it all to you. Literally everything, Mike. In fact, let me just bring up one of my images here, especially for you, mate, as this is dedicated to you. Here we go. My coin crap chart, Mike. Here we go. So again, I made this quite a while ago, but look, I've literally listed all the coins here that I could think of. Listed if they're a commodity or a security. Securities are fundamentally absolutely worthless. And the consensus algorithm, so proof of work, proof of work, proof of work. Again, some of these, if centralized proof of work, as in, like, for example, Cardano, only input, output, Hong Kong can mine it. So even though it uses proof of work, it's an absolute piece of shit. Completely centralized, emoji facepalm because it's a fail, future dead in the coffin. Look, proof of stake, delegated proof of stake, ERC20, pre-mined. Honestly, I know it all, Mike, even with a little bit of a description. I've gone to town on this thing, mate. Like, literally gone to town on it. So yeah, just contact me. Let's have a look at my channel quickly. 528 subscribers, 28 in the last 77 in the last 28 days. Good, heading in the right direction there. Let's have a look at my videos. I made $1.80 yesterday. So this is Streamality, Mike, where you can upload your videos and set your own fee according to how you judge the quality. And as you can see, I actually made $32 on one of my other videos. I only charged like 20 cents. It's not a lot. It's like 15p. But 164 people paid to watch that video, Mike. It's a great platform. You can actually monetize your content. It means you're not strapped over a barrel by YouTube. It's an alternative thing there. And this, Mike, this is Twitch, where you can literally just get paid for your posting. So this is like Twitter on the blockchain. So you can see I've earned $127 so far on Twitch, which is pretty good. Just going to have a quick look at the new sign-ups on Twitch over the last 24 hours. Is a statistic I look at. 77. A little bit poor. We've seen it as high as 1,000 some days. So yeah, we know what's coming, and I think that's everything, Mike. Yeah, so there's a couple of articles I just want to read. Check this out. Here we go. One of my contacts sending me this, so well worth a read of this guy. So this says, I'll reject all. There we go. Enterprise blockchain processor TAL becomes Hut 8. Newest hosting services partner. Check it out. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just close these. Yep. Close that. Close that. Close that. So we're going to type in Hut 8. This is quite a large mining operation. Hut 8 mining. Hut 8 mining. There we go. Images. See if we got a picture of their operation. This is Hut 8. Check it out. Look at this. So this is Hut 8. It's a large mining operation. Solar powered as well. Look at that. Right, so now we know what we're dealing with here. So we can read this. So again, an article released today, 28th of May. That rhymes. So Hut 8, or the company, one of North America's oldest and largest innovation-focused digital asset mining pioneers, is thrilled to announce its latest hosting partnership with enterprise blockchain transaction processor TAL Distributed Information Technologies. Hut 8 will provide physical hosting and optimization services and access to competitive electrical power for 690 newly purchased digital hashing computers owned by TAL. Hut 8 will also work with TAL to make their existing fleet more efficient. Under the terms of the deal, TAL will have 960 hashing computers using 3.2 megawatts of Hut 8 power. So you know what that means. Hut 8 is going to understand what Bitcoin is, which is BSV. Hut 8's hosting and optimization services include equipment, sourcing and logistics management, white glove installation, a dedicated client success management, and 24/7 physical security and technical operation teams dedicated around the clock at each site. Quotes here, so at Hut 8, we are focused on diversifying our revenue generating business model and creating catalysts for growth, said CEO of Hut 8, Jamie Leverton. Strengthening our existing hosting services line of business with strategic partners is a growth focus for the company as we continue to see more institutional players expand their investments in digital asset mining. We strive to offer our partners a best-in-class North American-based option for their hosting needs. TAL operates exclusively on the Bitcoin blockchain to support its blockchain transaction processing business. With this new hosting partnership, TAL expects its hash rate to be at least 450 petahashes, well ahead of its stated goals of anticipating winning at least 30 BSV blocks per day attributed to TAL. Quote here, we're very pleased to be working with Hut 8 as we both share a dedication to excellence and having aligned core values of limiting our impact on the environment. Comments Stephen Matthews, TAL Executive Chairman and Executive Officer. And I interviewed him the other day, Mike, so if you want to listen to that, feel free. Great interview about Hut 8. So let's have a quick read of this. Hut 8 is one of North America's oldest, largest and innovation-focused Bitcoin miners. Hut 8 has one of the largest installed capacity rates in the industry and is one globally in-held self-mined Bitcoin of any crypto miner or publicly traded company. Recently ranked 11th of 10,000 on the 2021 OTCQX Best 50 and first publicly traded miner on the STX. That'll be Texas Stock Exchange, I guess. The Hut 8 leadership team is continually looking for ways to accelerate innovation in high-performance computing and the blockchain ecosystem. We are stewards of powerful industry-leading solutions and drivers of innovation in digital asset mining and high-performance computing. Hut 8 applies a growth mindset to our revenue diversification, ESG and carbon footprint reduction strategy. We are a company committed to growing shareholder value regardless of BTC market direction. HODL the Hut. Again, Mike, the term HODL is a political spin term to basically sort of try and get people to to try and encourage people to stop using Bitcoin as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. You can probably guess where that political spin came from if you're smart enough to figure it out. So I don't have to explain it to you. So next one, check this out, Mike. So just want to read this. Just thought this was funny. So BBC, our local, you know the BBC, Mike. So funny, this says Sadwell, Bitcoin mine found stealing electricity. This is quite funny. So a suspected Bitcoin mining operation illegally stealing electricity has been found by police who were searching for a cannabis farm. Officers had been tipped off about the site on the Great Bridge Industrial Estate, Sadwell, and raided it on the 18th of May, West Midlands Police said. Instead of cannabis plants, they found a bank of about 100 computer units. The force said the cryptocurrency mine had effectively stolen thousands of pounds worth of electricity. Inquiries with network operator Western Power Distribution found an illegal connection to the electricity supply. That's hilarious. Can you imagine going in thinking that you're going to bust a cannabis farm and you find a Bitcoin mining farm? Detectives said they were tipped off about lots of people visiting the unit throughout the day, and a police drone picked up on a lot of heat coming from the building. Sergeant Jennifer Griffin said given the signs, they had expected to find a cannabis farm. A few points here. Bitcoin consumes more electricity than Argentina. Whatever. Bitcoin Mining Council to report on renewable energy uses. Latest news for West Midlands. It had all the hallmarks of a cannabis cultivation setup, and I believe it is only the second such crypto mine we have encountered in the West Midlands, she said. The computer equipment had been seized, but no arrests had been made, the force said. Probably because owners had done a runner or something like that. What is Bitcoin? Oh, let's see what they say here. Bitcoin is a form of digital money. It's actually a commodity, Mike, as I explained earlier. A cryptocurrency, it's not a cryptocurrency, because that's a concept which is absolutely flawed, which was first published as an idea in 2008. 31st of January 2008, 31st of October 2008. It operates on the blockchain, a digital ledger of transactions, and miners audit Bitcoin transactions in exchange for an opportunity to acquire the digital currency. The process consumes large amounts of electricity as it requires enormous computing power. To increase profits, people often connect large numbers of miners to the network, even entire warehouses full of them. Bitcoin's electricity consumption is currently greater than the Netherlands, or whatever, according to the Cambridge Bitcoin Electricity Consumption Index. Cool, I just thought that was actually quite funny, to be honest with you. Thought this was also a funny post here. Check this out. So somebody had said here, like I said, I believe the term for this statement is based, CoinEasy. Check it out. If you can simply push a button and print $6 trillion, why should Americans pay taxes? Well, that's an extremely legitimate question. So check this out, Mike. If you're a entrepreneur and all that, and conscious about what is right and what is wrong, have a listen to it. Have a look at this. So this is the Louisiana Fed, and they print the M1 money stock, which is basically sort of like US dollars. Now look at the acceleration of growth here in US dollars, Mike. Can you see something wrong here with this, with the amount of money that is being printed? And where is it going? Okay, well, just have a listen to this, Mike. This is a Donald Rumsfeld being grilled and having a laugh about losing $2.3 trillion in 12 months. Have a listen.
How can we seriously consider a $50 billion increase in the defense budget when DOD's own auditors say the department cannot account for $2.3 trillion in transactions in 1 year alone? Now, my question to you is, Mr. Secretary, what do you plan to do about this?
Decline the nomination. Senator, I have heard.
I don't want to see you do that.
We'll stand.
Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. I'll just decline the nomination because I've misplaced $2.3 trillion in 12 months. So, Mike, the printing and the quantitative easing of all this money, it's meant to be stimulating the economy. But again, we've got charts which illustrate the velocity of money, which is stimulation of the economy. Is that money circulating in the economy? No, it's not. It's doing nothing. It's absolutely ridiculous, Mike. So, yeah, that's kind of like all I wanted to go over there. Oh, no, one more thing, guys. Check it out. People are going absolutely mental at the moment about Nassim Taleb, who is speaking at the Bitcoin conference. Bitcoin obviously being a BSV. So, I mean, check this out, Mike. This is outrageous. See if we can find this. Where is it? Oh, yeah, this was quite interesting, Mike. Have a look at this. So I said the skullduggery is so blatant, you have to be really stupid not to recognize it. Eli Afram posted this. He said, a reminder, the way BTC advertised itself in 2015 on their official website is chalk and cheese with how it is advertised today. BTC no longer Bitcoin, as we already know. Look at this. Look, Bitcoin, fast, peer-to-peer transactions, low processing fees. That's nothing like what it is now because they have absolutely 100% effed it up like I explained earlier, and I've explained it too. Look at this one. Peter McCormack, classic clanger here. Bitcoin is an intelligent assess. Taleb failed it. Honestly, they're going absolutely mental over this. Let's see if we can find... what was this one? Oh. Huh. Enough said. Let's have a look at this one. It's around here somewhere. Check it out. I think it might be this one. Oh no, maybe not. This one. Another douchebag. Maybe this one. Yeah, there we go. Look, going crazy. Oh my god. Nassim Taleb is speaking at the Bitcoin SV conference with Craig Wright. And as we know, Craig Wright invented Bitcoin. So why shouldn't this guy be talking at the conference? You know, because he's worked it out. He's figured it out. And I've already sent a little friend request to Nassim Taleb. So let's see if we can find him on Twitter. I might actually have to do a quick Google search for him. Nassim Taleb. Nassim Taleb, Twitter.
I found this on the web.
Huh. Yeah, thank you. Let's have a look at this.
Cheers, mate.
Power off. There we go. So Twitter. So what's he got? Almost a million followers, Mike. Almost a million followers. Oh, he's accepted it. Great, nice one, Nassim. Obviously knows who I am. My reputation precedes me. Chuffed about that. So yeah, I think that's everything, Mike. There we go. We'll just leave that picture up there to remind everybody that who this show was for and what it's all about. So I've been going for 1 hour 10 minutes. Epic show, Mike. Hope you didn't get too bored, you know. But yeah, you can contact me on Twitter, or you can just simply comment on this show, and yeah, let's meet up, mate. I'll explain it all to you. So for everyone else, hope you enjoyed the show. Enjoy the rest of your bank holiday weekend. Have a good one, and as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there. Joy given. Catch everybody later. Get paid for posting your pics on Relica. Download the app now at www.getrelica.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Support independent content creators on micropayment platforms such as Streamanity, Twitch and Relica. We should profit from our data, not the large corporations who track, monitor and sell it. If you enjoy the Bitcoin content that I produce, please support me by heading over to www.satoshi.tv, where you can keep up to date with all the latest news, gossip and content as it's created. Thanks very much. To get started in Bitcoin, go to freebsv.com, where you can claim your free Bitcoin. Then head over to Twitter and follow @IamSatoshi, where you can take part in his very generous and world famous free giveaways. The future of advertising meets the power of Bitcoin at Tonic Pow. Get paid for posting advertising campaigns to your social media profiles. Go to www.tonicpowads.com.